So just as people comment, you and I will just have to watch our own threads and break in with any questions or anything as they show up. Um,
Yeah.
I have no real format for this. It's just loose,
No.
whatever we go with.
Yeah, so can I start by asking you some questions?
Absolutely.
Okay, so how are you getting on with the second book in your series?
So my second book, I've gotten great beta reviews, and I'm kind of stalled at the point of sending it to the editor. Because
Okay.
right now I'm out of work and I don't want to spend a lot of extra money until
Oh,
I'm back
okay.
working.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I've got a little bit of a delay, but I'm very excited for it because for all the eyes I've had on it, people love it.
That's
Um,
great. And you finished it already then. That's fantastic. I didn't realize you had finished it.
oh yeah, I finished it about a month and a half ago,
Oh,
and I had
congratulations.
my alpha reader went through it, which is actually my
Mhm.
wife, and
Oh,
then I had my beta readers go through it. I did have a couple beta readers bail out on me though. Um,
that's normal.
yeah, these came with comments, but we'll get into that a little later. How are you
Okay.
going with your books?
Yeah, yeah, good. I'm actually editing. So for the last couple of months, I've just been dictating every day during the school run, and that's how I've written my last three or four books by dictating. And then when it's all well, not yeah. So sometimes halfway through the book, I'll just stop and I'll just let things kind of ferment and then start editing. And I'm finding that really helpful at the moment for my characters and their storylines, just like put them away. So I've stopped dictating for a few weeks now, just while I'm editing Cyborg Assassin 3, because the editing is always so much harder and so much of such a long process compared to creating the story, especially when I'm just dictating into the dark witches really quickly. So it's just like editing, editing, editing all the time. But that's my own fault because I kept skipping from project to project. So I was writing like the Yufu's Run series, which is kind of space opera thriller. And then I got a bit bored of that and then I wrote a space fantasy series, like a steamy one in another name, hoping that I would make some money. But I found out the hard way after 9 months of creating that series that no, Rayner, you don't read romance, you don't like romance, and you suck at writing romance too. So that was a hard lesson for me. But luckily, yeah. So anyway, I've just been jumping about with different series, but I'm working on Cyborg Assassin now, and I'm going to use that as a reader magnet. So that's why it's not on Kindle Unlimited. Eventually, I'm going to make book one and book two completely free and wide. But actually, no, book two won't be free unless somebody signs up. But they'll find that sign up link just after the end of Cyborg Assassin 1. So they have to have enjoyed reading Cyborg Assassin 1 and want more to get that free Cyborg Assassin 2. And that'll get them on my list. And hopefully, I can grow my list more that way instead of using book funnel and story origin all the time, just try and find a different audience, which are not in Kindle Unlimited and
Yeah,
stuff like that. Yeah.
I like that idea. I've had mixed results with BookFunnel and the different promos,
Mm.
especially the promos that are cross multiple genres. I The last one I did was a month long, and I only got um, something like 85 views, and it
Mm.
was Kindle Unlimited, so I didn't even get any signups. And
Oh,
it wasn't
yeah.
it wasn't really worth that month long wait and locking into that to do it.
No,
But
no.
there's some exciting things. I'm actually getting ready to do my first book signing
Oh,
next
wow, no way.
no,
That's amazing.
2 weeks from now. No, it
Oh,
will be a
wow.
group. It will be a group book signing. So it's local bookstores bringing in local authors, and so
Oh,
all the
that's so
authors from my
nice.
area. Although I'll be the only
Wow.
sci-fi. So
Yeah, I'm not surprised because there's not so many sci-fi authors, yeah? I mean, there are a lot, but when you compare them to all the other genres, it's such a small group, really.
Yeah, and until you get into big events, like I saw an event in Colorado which was just dedicated to sci-fi writers, and there
Oh,
was
nice.
hundreds of them. I just can't, fly out to Colorado. It's, halfway across the country. So
Yeah.
doing them locally, there is one event that another author from the UK actually got me hooked into. It's going to be in Chicago in September. That will have a ton of sci-fi authors. So
Wow,
that
nice.
will be interesting.
Nice. Have you bought
But
the tickets already?
I have not. So I'm
Mm.
looking into the hotel that I'm gonna see where she's staying because I want to meet her and maybe just
Yeah.
hang out with her at her booth. She's going to be doing an actual panel there. I don't know that I have time to get into it. So I don't know that I can get a booth or a stand because it's
Oh, I
so short
see.
notice. But I'm going to go
Mm.
and support her and support other authors and check it out.
Yeah.
And
And you can take your business cards with you as
yep,
well to hand out, maybe. Yeah.
I figure I'll take my business cards, my bookmarks, and maybe have some books out of the trunk of my car.
Yeah, perfect. Definitely. That sounds
But
really good. I've never done that before.
hello to our new viewers. I do want to
Hey,
do a real quick thing where we both go through at least one of our books to talk about real quick
okay.
what book it is and
Hmm.
where it's available and what's the
Oh,
genre and
yeah.
stuff. So I'll let you go
Okay,
first.
cool. Oh, thank you. So, I couldn't find invert, and I know this doesn't look very good. This is like this is all backwards. I can't find the search on the effects.
If you go into enhance and
Oh, it's
mirror
not.
video,
Oh, I think I'm on. Ah, I can't find it. Green screen, atmosphere, fun. Anyway, it's not so difficult. See, this book, this is called Cyborg Assassin 1. Um, yeah, it's backwards, but this book is free if you want to check out like one of my more recent books, yeah, because within the last 5 years, I'm pretty sure my writing has improved. Now, this book, this box set is only 99 cents at the moment, and I've been advertising it like crazy on TikTok every single day, and it's not working at all. So I started doing a Facebook ad, and people are starting to download it now. But yeah, Space Shifters of the Fire Snake. This is space fantasy. Look, it doesn't look any bigger. And that's it's a shame I can't find the. It doesn't look the same, does it, as when you actually make videos? But anyway, yeah, this is space fantasy. Sorry, I'm only supposed to be talking about one of them. Whereas
oh, that's all right.
Cyborg Assassin is military space opera. So they're all set in my Plan 8 alliance. But the thing is, in Cyborg Assassin, the characters, they don't know about time portals. They don't know about these, about teleportation and stuff. So it's just basic space opera, military space opera with cyborgs, and it's like the communists against the capitalists, and there's going to be end up being a massive nuclear war on planet Arceus. And it's just been really, really great to write. I've really enjoyed writing it very much. Whereas my first ever box set, while I worked on it really hard, you can tell I was a very new author when I wrote that. So I think the writing flows more here. I've been generally getting much better organic reviews for this one compared to that one. But yeah, this one's only 99 cents if you do want to see how my writing's evolved in the last 5 years, kind of thing. Whereas Cyborg Assassin, this is completely free. And if you go to my profile on TikTok, you just click on the link and it's signing up to my newsletter. I don't spam people. I only send a newsletter like maybe once a month or sometimes once every 2 weeks. So yeah, why not download Cyborg Assassin 1? And you can also listen to it on YouTube, 1 and 2. I actually narrate it on YouTube. While the manuscript's edited, I'm afraid the YouTube narration isn't edited, so it's not like perfect, but you might
And
enjoy that.
And if you click on her profile, follow her, and you can get to her links in her bio and find all of this stuff, including her website, which will have a link to sign up for her newsletter, which is, I'd highly suggest that if you're into sci-fi books. I've read only one of them so far, but I plan on, she's on my TBR list that's about a mile long to read the rest, but
Oh God, yeah.
I'll happily read more of them. All right, I'll jump into mine. I think several of the
Lovely.
people watching me have seen mine, maybe read it. My first
Yeah.
book is called The After. This is book one in the Afterverse series. Um, I do have book two coming out, hopefully this summer, maybe closer
Oh,
to
no.
spring, or sorry, fall. Um,
Autumn, yeah.
but my book is a space opera, space fantasy. Book two gets into
Mm.
the more of the space fantasy aspect of it. Book one just starts it. Um, it's, I think, the best description I've heard of my book is Star Trek meets Cowboy Bebop meets Sword Art Online. So
Oh, yeah.
it's about an alternate afterlife in an alternate universe where space travel and high technology is just commonplace. And generally, things start out good until, as life generally has, there's some bad people doing bad things that are trying to attack the team. And it's basically how they deal with it and setting up a longer term conflict that will be uh, a feature of the second book quite a bit, and then we'll then set the stage for a longer series. And what's interesting about this series is it's starting out space opera, space fantasy, but then a couple of my books are going to be lit RPG, fantasy type books.
Oh, wow.
And there's going to be a different set of main characters with those, and then there's going to be a
Oh,
convergence of the two characters in probably books five and six.
oh,
So
nice.
this is different perspectives of different afterlives based
Mm.
on
Oh, okay.
the individuals and where their preference would be.
Oh, right. That's a really great. That makes it really epic, doesn't it? Not
Yeah,
just following the same character through the whole series, but then
and I
having
have a
it from
lot of
different
options for
POVs.
a lot of
Mm,
books from different perspectives. At this point, I haven't
mm,
dedicated to going past six books, but I have
mm.
the opportunity if people are enjoying the series of
Yeah.
easily incorporating a lot more perspectives in that because you can even
Oh
think of things
yeah,
like
it's a good idea. And I really recommend going for if your series is popular and people like it, I really recommend just making it really, really long because that will help you in the long term when you're marketing on Amazon and Facebook because you'll get your money back through the read through. And that's a mistake I made really was not continuing my first series. Instead, some people told me, oh, you have too many points of view characters, it's getting too complicated. So I just finished my series at book five, but I was planning on finishing it at book eight. And then what I did was like a sequel trilogy, and that's not so popular at all because after they've read the first series, they just don't want to keep reading, I don't think, because it's kind of different perspectives, but the same universe. And yeah, it would have been better to make that first series much, much longer, I think, finishing with a hook at the end of every book even though lots of space opera readers don't like that. I think if you're releasing the books quick enough apart, then hooks are not such a bad thing. But if they're waiting a long time, yeah, maybe it's better to tie up all the loose ends and not have a major hook at the end of the book.
that. I think
Mm.
once I get into my flow and once I'm got my job stable, I'll be
Mm.
probably releasing every 2 months at the most.
That's
Uh,
really good. Yeah. And how long are your books?
my
How
first
many
book,
K?
the first book was 60,000 words. The second book's
Oh, that's not bad. Yeah.
92,000 words. Um,
Mm.
and so really, I think I'll be in the 80 to 90,000 probably for each book.
Yeah.
But I do
Yeah.
plan on doing some novellas on the side. So
Oh,
some
sure.
specific stories like the team, a one-off story for the team to go do something instead of a part of the big epic story. So just kind of a
Yeah,
team
that's really
building event, so
fun.
to speak.
It's fun, isn't it? It's so nice building universes and building characters and just adding more stories to the same universes. And yeah, it's just really, really fun. It's as fun, if not more fun, like reading a really epic sci-fi or fantasy. When you're writing it, it's possibly more fun, isn't it, really? Because you get really into the nitty-gritty.
Yeah, I've a lot of the stories I've done, I've had in my head over years, but when you actually get to put
Mm.
them into words and refine them enough to make sense to someone else, that's a lot of fun to me. I could pump
Yeah.
out 10,000 words in a day, um,
Whoa, really?
if I've got like eight
Oh,
hours, like a weekend or something where
yeah.
I could. But
I think that's
no, when I'm working, so I actually don't write full time at all. Even right now, when I'm
No,
not
no.
working, I make sure I spend time doing other things like networking, searching for work, things like that. I only write
Yeah.
in the evenings or the weekends.
Okay.
And so
Yeah.
what I'm doing now is setting up my pace that I know I could sustain even while I'm busy with more than full time.
That's really good. Yeah. So
Um,
that makes sense. Knocking out 10K, like maybe on a Saturday, that makes sense because you're not doing it Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, possibly. Or if you're doing it in the evenings, that's really helpful too. That really adds to the word count. But yeah, you need to look after your health, look after your family. It's so easy to become really anxious and beat yourself up and compare yourself to other authors who are like knocking out a book every month. And I mean that happened to me, and I was getting so anxious and just like frustrated. Oh, when will I ever succeed? This is just like so difficult. But now I'm just enjoying my life, enjoy the time I have with my kids when they're off school. Like, fine, it's fine if I don't do any writing, it's fine if I don't. Maybe it will take longer. That hike will take a lot longer, but I'm enjoying my life. I'm cooking good food, I'm looking after myself, looking after my family. Yeah, it's good to look after your mental and physical health too,
yeah,
definitely.
the difference is really, between someone who wants to be dedicated full time author making great money a year versus someone who, like myself, is I'm doing just for the love of it. So it's not
Okay,
about
yeah.
making tons of money to me,
Okay, yeah.
because my career normally will make so much more than I'll make in books.
Well,
Um,
that's good. That's good. Yeah,
so it's just the love and just at some point almost like therapy, getting it out of my head because it's been in there a while.
definitely. Yeah, it's really good because you've like broken through that fear boundary and you've done it, and you have thick. I mean, I get good reviews and bad reviews. I always have, but yeah, it's just good to just be happy in yourself, really. And if there are people who love your books, then not feel bad about like any bad reviews or anything, and
Yeah,
like take them into.
I don't feel bad about bad reviews. I don't really have any real bad ones. There are some people who've
Mm.
caught some editing things. I have actually gone back and re-edited the whole book myself.
Yeah.
Turns out
Mm.
the editor I relied on for my first book wasn't very good. Um,
Oh no, I had that with mine as well.
but that's, being a new author, you learn your lessons. And
Oh yeah, you got a better one now.
I am trying out three, send them all
Mm.
sample chapters to see um, what they give me back to see, if
Interesting,
I'm going to
yeah.
be. The price range between them, one of them is new and hungry and just wants to get in the market and will give
Hmm.
a discounted rate. I'm weary about that one. But then the other ones are
Mm.
up to, 1,500, 2,000 to do the edit. And that's, yeah. So
Ooh.
I'm really looking at what's the value between the person who's hungry versus the person who's charging that much. I've had another
Yeah.
author actually tell me just go to a library and ask them for editors and you'll find someone for free. I
Oh.
didn't really think that was true, but I went to the library here and they laughed at me. So
Oh.
I'd love to know
They
where
were
that
like, no
author's
way.
library is.
Ah.
I've actually got a university that's a couple miles away, so I talked to one of the instructors there, and he's like, "Yeah, never use any one of my students. Don't. You could use
Oh.
me, but you're going to pay me $5,000." And I'm like, "No, that's all right."
Whoa, crazy. To be honest, I'm going to let you into a dark secret. I don't use an editor. I used an editor once for book one, and I'm sure she must have just put it through Pro Writing Aid or Grammarly or something. I have to admit, I paid her what, £200? So I guess that's really cheap. But seriously, yeah, I just I can't afford an editor because I'm not making any money on my books, really. I'm spending money
That's
to try and bring the rank up, and I'm not like successful at all when it comes to making money from it. And even though I do love writing, I don't have another job, and I don't want to be a teacher again. So yeah, I really, really want to. I'm like wishing every day that I will make money at some point, but I'm deep down there in the ravine at the moment, and I probably need to write at least a few more written to market series, or make that Yufu's Run series like 20 books long, and stop writing 40 and 50k books. I need to write like 90k books. That's what best-selling space opera authors have told me. Yeah, make your books bigger, write to market, don't use too many themes. So I'm just going to be concentrating on like space opera kind of thriller with military and stuff, but no magic, no time travel. Um, of course I'm still gonna write space fantasy series like on the side, but I'm gonna market when I do look into advertising properly again, it's going to be the space opera without magic, I think.
yeah. Space opera with space fantasy, I think, is an easy sell. You think Star Wars, right? That is
Yeah,
space
yeah,
opera with space fantasy, and
definitely, yeah.
they merge together so well. Um,
Mm,
it's when you start getting into speculative fantasy with space opera with space fantasy, just trying to pile on the many layers of it. That's when I think it gets
yeah,
too hard to sell. Real quick though, I
yeah,
had
like
someone ask, "What's the topic?" So the topic is just today a discussion between two sci-fi authors, and wherever we take it. And if you
yeah.
have a question for us, ask, and we'll try to answer it. So, any topic you like, this is just kind of a loose flowing thing, not a real actual interview.
No, no, it's not an interview. This is the first time is this the first time we've actually had a chat face to face?
Yes, it is.
Is it? Yes, it
Yeah,
is,
yeah.
isn't it? Yeah.
We've been on DMs a ton, but I think
Yeah.
this is, and I think email too. But yeah, this is the first time we've chatted face to face.
Yeah.
And this is just for anyone watching. I'm doing this with sci-fi authors. I'm doing Sundays for UK authors, and I'm doing Tuesdays,
Oh,
or hopefully Tuesdays, for US authors. And I'm going to try to have at least one every week, if not two topics. The thing I need is sci-fi authors that have at least 1,000 followers so they can go live. Um,
of course, yeah.
and I have a lot of people trying to get to 1,000 to do this. So hopefully we have more of a community here.
Can
Also,
I ask a question?
go ahead.
What what about the Canadian and Australian authors and
I haven't had any of them approach me yet. Uh,
okay, fair
so
enough.
probably the Sunday time too, because I think that could bridge the most time zones. Maybe not this exact time, but somewhere near it. Uh, but I'm trying to make it kind of a standard. So far, I just have UK and US authors talking to me. But I
Yeah,
welcome anyone from anywhere else, and we'll bring them on. We'll have conversations. I
yeah.
also want to do more larger panels after I get more people to go on live.
Wow.
So we
That
might
sounds
do like
fun.
3 or 4 people, but we'll see
Mm,
how this goes.
that sounds really fun.
TikTok amused. If you have any questions of us, go ahead and shoot. If you want to know anything more about either one of our books, um, why we write or how we write or anything like that, or even if you want to talk about the latest sci-fi shows or movies or stuff, we're game for that as
Yeah,
well.
yeah.
I will ask
I can actually, yeah.
what inspired you to get into sci-fi?
Oh, well, when my son was 2 years old and my daughter was four, no, sorry, he wasn't two, he was a baby. Yeah, he was a brand new baby. And sorry, this might make like a lot of guys squirm whenever I talk about breastfeeding. They're like, oh, whatever.
I'm
But
not
yeah, like
bothered.
if you're a breastfeeding mother, like you can just like sit there or lie there, in my case, for a long time, yeah, breastfeeding. But luckily, I bought myself George R. Martin's massive box set, um, The Song of Ice and Fire, and I read the whole box set whenever I was with my son. Um, and just after that, I was just so blown away by his writing. I just thought, wow, he's like a magician. He's such a good writer and everything. And I think that inspired me without me knowing. But then kind of a couple of years later, I just said to my husband, I really don't want to go back to teaching because I used to be a teacher, you see. And I was just like, I really don't feel like going back to teaching because it's really tiring because you're almost like being an actor all the time and you're constantly talking to people and communicating. I just said, I'm too tired. I don't want to go back teaching. And it was my husband. He suggested, well, why don't you follow your childhood dream and write a book? And I was like, wow, okay. It's like he almost gave me permission. I hadn't even thought about it. But because of that, I decided, yeah, I'm going to write a space opera. And I did loads of research. For 5 months, I built my Planet Alliance, which consists of 7 solar systems and an array of different suns. Some of them are white suns, some of them are red suns or orange suns. And so I took about 5 months designing that and the different ethnicities, different histories, religions, cultures, how they look and everything. And then I started writing 5 light years to the fire snake. And I joined a site called the nextbigwriter.com. It only costs £4 every month as a subscriber. And that's where I beta read people's writing. And in return, I would get enough points so I could post my own chapters up onto it. And yeah, I posted up my first chapter and I got so much bad critique from different writers. Like, oh my God, it was so bad. But I learned so much, like I didn't give up. I absorbed all of that criticism, all of that negative criticism. I absorbed it with kind of encouragement and I kept rewriting those chapters again and again until the criticism became good criticism. And then yeah, and so I was on the nextbigwriter.com for probably the first 3 years of writing. During that time, I wrote my first box set, and that's only 99 cents at the moment. Space Shifters of the Fire Snake, space fantasy. So and then after that, I had enough confidence, really. After a few years, I had enough confidence. And the beta readers, it was taking a long time. I was waiting for beta readers for ages, to give me feedback. And I thought, I need to be publishing more quickly than this. So I felt strong and kind of, I had the courage to continue on my own. And then I just kept writing from then on. And yeah, I still get bad reviews, but I get good reviews too. And I know where I've gone wrong too. Like some of the bad reviews, they've helped me realize where I've gone wrong. And sorry, that's really long-winded, isn't it?
That's all right. I do want to jump in
I'm
and
not too
answer
sure if
a couple of questions before someone gets lost on us here. First of all, yes, it's absolutely all right. You're not a writer. We love readers, and that's kind of the reason we're doing this, because we want readers to engage with us. TikTok Amused, you also said you always get stuck on fantasy character names, not creating, but reading and character building with the names. I think you're not alone. I think nearly everyone at some point has got stuck with fantasy names. Some get stuck with the sci-fi names as well.
definitely.
I think as authors, I think more of us need to do pronunciation guides because
Oh my gosh, yeah, what a good idea.
what I've even done is I have a character, this simple name, Zoe. Well, I think half my readers think it's Zoe and half my
Zoe.
readers think it's Zoe.
I thought it was
And
Zoe.
Zoe is what I intended,
Ah,
but because I didn't tell anyone what it is, there's actually really famous people in the US named Zoe with the same exact
hmm.
spelling.
Oh wow.
So I think it's on me is I should have done a better job, and I should actually have pronunciation. Um, I like the sort of
Yeah,
variety of that too. So spelling out Zoe is odd to me, but Zoe always feels odd to me as well. So I think I like
yeah.
Zoe, but I like
Gosh, that's so
so
true.
that was from one of
This
our viewers.
this one, sorry, it's backwards. I can't find the invert effect, but this is, I use this a lot. It's called Don John.
Yep,
Don John, and it's a name generator. It's really good for sci-fi and fantasy, places, planets, organizations,
it's amazing. I
kind of
use the
stuff.
same one.
It's yeah, it's really good. There's so many different ones, but that's my favorite.
Yeah, I even have a video responding to someone about that exact site. I wanted to do a
Okay.
video and actually go over it more to show people, but I just haven't had the time.
Hmm.
But no, that's an amazing site. There's a couple of other generators out there. There's some even like planet generators that will do like your solar systems. I love those. But
Wow. Yeah, I saw
even
the. Yeah,
go ahead.
sorry. Yeah, I saw the other day a woman on TikTok. I don't know if she was a sci-fi writer, but she was showing this different software where you can make your own spaceships and you can, yeah, make your own solar systems and star systems and stuff.
I need to find
Oh,
the
I wish,
spaceship one.
I know, I wish I had saved it. I should have saved it. I should have duetted it, but I think I was busy doing something else. But I was like, wow, like my jaw literally dropped when I saw her making kind of three-dimensional spaceships with
That I would
it.
love because I've been looking for an image for the spaceship I have in my mind that my crew's on, and I just I can't find one, and I'm no artist. Um, TikTok Amused asked, "Have either of us dabbled in audiobooks?" By dabbled, I assume you mean have either of us tried to put our books into audiobooks? I'll answer very quickly with mine. I'm talking to someone here on TikTok. I'm going to do a video with him hopefully within the next week, and we'll do the conversation live about him possibly doing an audiobook for my first book.
What? Oh, is he actually a narrator or is he a narrator and a sci-fi writer?
He's done some writing. I don't know if he's published, but he's a narrator and he's trying to build his narrating
Yeah.
platform.
Oh, nice. Yeah, so are you going to do a royalty? Are you thinking of doing a royalty share then on
Yes,
Audible?
yeah,
Hmm.
royalty share would definitely be
Yeah.
something I do because at this point I'm not
Yeah.
making enough off the first book to justify paying for audiobooks. But
No, me neither. Yeah.
the royalty share with newer narrators, I think is a great way to
Mhm.
go.
Yeah, don't know whether to do that or not because I think I want to unpublish my first and second series maybe in about a year's time, and then I want to really, really edit it a lot, cut out loads of fluff, and expand the whole series as well, kind of republish it under a slightly different name. So I'm not sure if I would be allowed to do that with Audible. I don't know. But
I don't know.
I've narrated two books myself, and they're free on YouTube if you want to listen to them. You just search in the search bar Cyborg Assassin 1 and you'll find me straight away. And I'm narrating, I narrate, yeah, the whole of book one and the whole of book two, and that's military space opera. And I've had some pretty good reviews about that. And the only problem is it's not, it's a really good microphone. I've got a beautiful microphone. I've forgotten what it's called, so please don't ask me. I have to dig it out and have a look. But yeah, I didn't edit it on the Audacity thing, you know, where you cut out the clicks and you cut out when you repeat yourself and things. So it's not perfect. While the manuscript's edited, the audio isn't. But I've had some good comments from my language students in the past, and even some of my yoga students, that they really like my voice and they like listening to me reading to them. So I really enjoyed doing that. And it was like my last edit as well. It really helps for editing if you read it out loud. So it was really, really enjoyable, almost like meditating or like some kind of form of exercise, because my husband's very quiet, so I don't get to talk much. And my kids, I don't know, I don't have massive conversations with them because they're really little. So yeah, that was really nice. So yeah, if you look on YouTube, you can listen to that for free if you
Yeah.
like.
So TikTok Muse, the same person who asked that, said he finds this room fascinating. Thank you. Invite your
Oh,
friends,
thank
like
you.
it, share it,
Yay.
hit that like button over and over and over. It gives us both ratings. So good.
Oh, nice.
As far as
Oh.
your liking, you said you like your voice. I'm thinking you meant her, not me. I hate my voice, so I'm pretty sure no one
You've
else
got a
likes
good
it.
voice. You've got a very good voice for action thriller.
Uh,
Definitely.
no, no. I've got this gap in my teeth that's been forming, and my T's go
I
wrong. I'm
got
not.
gaps in my teeth. Yeah. I got
Well,
gaps
mine's
in
been
my
getting
teeth.
bigger, so it's.
Oh, that's okay. There's better resonance. Do you want to come here?
No, I've got the mic set up to do it, but I don't think I'd ever have the patience to do. I don't think I'd have the patience to actually record the audio myself.
Oh, you should be in bed, cheeky. You're hot. Oh,
How
it's
can you
very
be in
hot
bed?
here
It's
in the
light
UK.
out. Isn't that a window right there?
Yeah, that is it. But it's 5 minutes past 9, and my
Oh,
son's only 7 years old. Because we live in England, so we're quite close to the North Pole, and it gets dark at 10 o'clock, kind of midsummer, 10 o'clock at night. Gets light about 4:30 in the morning. But yeah, it's really hot here. It's very unusual for this country. It's lovely though, very nice and warm.
I don't know the temperature conversions off the top of my head, so I
Just
won't be
ask
able to figure out
Alexa.
how hot it is for you. Um,
I can ask Alexa, what's 26 degrees in Fahrenheit?
26 degrees Celsius is 78.8 degrees Fahrenheit.
78.8 degrees Fahrenheit. That's
oh my.
probably not hot for you, is it?
So here where I live in Indiana, we've been having 95-degree days with 95% humidity, which means
Oh,
the
it's
real
so hot.
feel is 115 degrees Fahrenheit.
Ooh, that's
So
boiling. That is
yes,
so hot.
I think I would love your weather a little bit better.
Yeah. Wow. So what is it? Sorry, again in Fahrenheit in Louisiana,
Indiana. So
Indiana.
Indiana, the real feel. So if you took the sunlight compared, it'd be 115 um, when you're taking the humidity into account.
Wow, 115. Alexa, what's 115 degrees Fahrenheit in Celsius? Sorry, I'm always asking.
115 degrees Fahrenheit is about 46.11 degrees Celsius.
Whoa, that's crazy hot. That's even hotter than where my husband's family are from in South China. What's in South China? It's even a bit less than that at the moment. Wow, that's really, really hot. Indiana.
Yeah. We have other parts of the United States that gets much hotter even. So when you think of Las
Mm.
Vegas or Texas,
Yeah,
uh,
yeah.
I've been. They don't get the humidity there as much as we do up in the Northeast. So yeah, it gets hot.
Wow. I have to have a look. I have to have a look at not now, but I'll look at the map of the United States because yeah, I don't really know much about where different places are really.
Sure. Do you know where the Great Lakes are? Biggest
They're
water.
not up.
Yeah,
They're
they're
not
up.
up north, are they?
They're up
I think
northeast.
I think I've actually got a sci-fi fan who comes from the Great Lakes area, and there's bears up there, aren't there?
There's
And
what up there?
bears,
Oh yeah, there's bears all over the place here.
Yeah. Oh, not here.
We have bears of different types throughout the United States.
Oh, crazy.
I used to live on the other side of the country, um, near Seattle, and that was a total different weather. But we would have bears in my backyard. Um,
Oh, no way.
yeah, we had deer in my backyard. At one point, I went out to get in my car, and there's 16 deer surrounding my car. Um, so
Wow, that's lovely.
here in Indiana, I have more rabbits than I have deer, but because of the rabbits, we also get cougars and stuff coming out to munch on those. So you got to watch out
Oh,
for the dog when I put her out. So this time of year.
well, dangerous.
But yeah, it's a little different here. We've got some of the worst and some of the best animals on the planet that'll either attack us or cuddle up with us.
Oh, I'm gonna take you upstairs because my husband he wants to work down here.
All
So
right.
come on, little one. Oh, take my son with me as well. Woo, here we go. Sorry.
That's all right.
I don't know if my daughter's still awake. I hope not.
I
Oh,
remember
wow,
those
it's dark
days.
here.
My
I probably
kids.
won't be talking for too much longer, I'm afraid, because my son, he's not going to go to sleep. But
That's
yeah.
okay.
Oh, and here we go. Ah,
Yeah, my son just
so,
turned 13. My daughter is 11 now.
oh, wow. They're getting big, yeah,
Yeah.
teenagers. Wow. Oh,
Yeah.
your daughter's still quite young. My daughter's 9 and my son's 7.
Yeah, not too far behind.
Yeah,
Um,
one of each.
so you're not going to be very much longer, so I want to make sure we get any topics out that you want to talk about. Is
Yeah.
there anything you want to?
No, not really. No, just like if you like military sci-fi, sign up to my newsletter and try that Cyborg Assassin, or you can just listen to Cyborg Assassin 1 and 2 on YouTube, or you can buy my first box set, which is only 99 cents. But yeah, my writing's improved a lot since then, as it generally does
Have
over
you heard
time.
of Jan Chaney?
Uh, yes, definitely a best-selling space opera
Yep.
author.
Have you gone
Yeah, is he
into
Canadian?
his? I believe he is. Have you been into his Facebook group?
No, I don't think so. No.
So he has a Facebook group. It's listed in front or back of all of his books. Probably the only sci-fi author I've seen who's been successful with Facebook groups.
Right, okay.
But if you ask, sometimes he'll let you put like the cover of your book in his.
Oh,
You have to ask though, but he'll sometimes let you
of
do that.
course.
And since
Oh
you're doing the
dear.
military sci-fi, that's really the genre
Hmm.
he's in. Um,
Yeah.
might be good for you. You
Yeah,
might want to
what a
check
great
that out.
idea. I just have to muster up the courage.
Just another author.
Courage. Yeah. But a super successful one.
He is, but
Yeah,
he's
bestseller.
generally a nice guy. I think he is the one who influenced me most to actually write. Um,
Wow. So you read a lot of his books?
I've read a lot of his books. Up until the time I started writing, I've read everything, but he produces them so darn quick. I think I'm probably 50 books behind now. He seems to
Yeah.
release a book every 2 weeks or something.
I know, it's crazy. Yeah.
But he has a team of people working for him to do that.
I bet he does. Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
when you get that successful, I think that's the way you have to go in order to release
I
fast.
think so. Most definitely.
But I
Most
got into
definitely. Oh,
got
how
into a
nice.
conversation with him. He's very approachable. But I had
Mm.
actually talked about my first thing I wrote. So let me back up a little bit. I've always been told, don't write. It's a waste of my career. It's a
Oh,
waste
so
of
mean when
time.
people say that. Yeah.
My whole life, I've had epic stories in my head, and people are just
Mm.
get over it. Never
Oh,
had
that's
the
so
courage
mean
to
of
do it.
them.
There was one
Oh.
time, well, not one time, about 5 years ago, my mom went into the hospital for something pretty serious, and I was sitting in the hospital for days and days and days and days with nothing to do
Oh.
but my cell phone. And I started typing out a zombie novel. And I typed out
Wow.
in the
Cool, man.
hospital on my phone 35,000 words. I
Whoa.
later went back and flushed that out and almost finished it. And by this time, I'm
What?
in the group with Jay and Cheney, and I'm like, I'm doing this, but I don't know what I'm going to do with it. I don't know where it's
Yeah.
going to go. I don't. It seems too intimidating to be an author, and and we had a series of conversations. Basically,
Aw.
amounted to, I had to get over some of my own stuff, but once I could do that and
Mhm.
get to the point of just hitting publish, that's what you have to do in your first book. Hit publish, and then your world changes.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
And I still had fear from that, and so I sat and I lurked in his, read his books for a while, saw what he's doing,
Aw.
and I had these epic stories in my head. And I went back to the zombie book, and I'm like, well, it wasn't really as well written as it could be. So I was started
Oh, yeah.
revamping it.
Hmm.
Then COVID hit, and it was way too
Oh,
close
yeah.
to COVID, my
Mm.
storyline. So I set that aside. And then I thought about it. I've got these other epic stories in my head. Have been a sci-fi
Mm.
fan since I was born. Um,
Yeah.
and I consume sci-fi and fantasy at horribly quick rates. I have these epic
Mm.
stories. Why not try one of those? And
Aw.
when I got to the point of doing that, I decided to do it one day, and 30 days later, I had my first draft. Um, that
Wow.
was the after, and 30 days after that, I
Aw.
published it, and
Yeah. Wow, that was quick. That was
it was
quick.
quick. That included
Yeah.
editing that wasn't as good as I'd like it to be. Um,
Hmm.
it included formatting that wasn't as nice as I'd like it to be.
It's okay though because you can upload I mean, of course, it's
I've
going to
already,
piss readers off a bit if it's not great, but it was the same with me. There were lots of typos in my first one, and actually, a couple of readers were so kind and sent me emails with all my typos so I could like correct them, and you could just re-upload like new versions and
so I
stuff.
did that.
Um,
And
yeah,
now I've actually got better formatting. I've got,
mm,
um, it lays out better. And
that's
let's see,
good.
I've even got fancy things between the
Oh,
well, not fancy, but
oh, let's see.
I've even,
Oh,
put
yeah,
it in
that's
there. I've
nice.
done little
That's
chapter breaks.
pretty.
And
What software did you use to format it?
so I'd use Scrivenger to format
Ah,
it,
Scrivener.
and
Yeah.
I spent a lot of time getting into the weeds with it to get it the way I
Hmm.
want. Because you have
Ah,
to,
okay.
Scrivener's not hard to use until you want to do
Hmm.
things like format your book. And when you get into
Ah,
formatting, it takes a lot. I had used
yeah.
Living Writer. I had used Dabble, and I've checked out a couple of other ones, but none of them were very good. Or they were
No.
good for one aspect of it, but not for the other. So one of
Hmm.
them couldn't even output a book cleanly, you know, and the other ones wouldn't do spell check or wouldn't do grammar check. So all of
Yeah.
those things combined, I ended up uh, getting frustrated with a bunch of different software.
Hmm.
I had a
Yeah.
copy of Scrivenger already. I got a
Hmm.
pro license for Pro Writing Aid,
Hmm.
which
Yeah.
when I started writing book two, it they just had integration starting with Pro Writing Aid and Scrivenger. So
Hmm.
not
Oh.
seamless, but you can open a Scrivenger file in Pro Writing Aid. Um,
Hmm.
so then you can go through chapter by chapter and do your editing. Um, it's not the best, but it's the
Hmm.
best I've found for right now.
Yes. Yeah.
And for my second, so my first round of formatting, I did not do that. It was directly from Living Writer,
Hmm.
which wasn't very good formatting. And then I used Draft to Digital to create the ebooks and stuff. Now,
Ah, okay.
now I'm using Scrivenger even for ebooks and everything. I've re-put my first book into Scrivenger. My second book was written in Scrivenger, and then I'm
Yeah.
still writing in Scrivenger until I find something better.
Okay.
There is one software I want to try, which is written by Dave. Oh, I forget his
Chesson?
last name. Kindle. He does the Kindle
Yeah.
Premiere site.
Dave, Dave, Dave Chesson.
Yes. Um, he his group is writing an editing software that I want to check out.
Nice. Oh, brilliant. Yeah.
But for now, Scrivenger.
Cool. I'm afraid I have to go. Sorry, I had to cut it quite short. It's just my son refuses to go to sleep, and
That's all right.
he said he can't because it's too hot here, and he's going to the fun fair tomorrow because it's inset day tomorrow, so they don't have school, which is really cool for one day. And yeah, his best friend's mum is taking him and a few of his little friends to go there, and he's going to go on all the roller coasters. Apparently, he's never been on a roller coaster. 5 other people, yes. Yeah. So anyway, nothing to do with sci-fi, but yeah, I got to put my son to bed, I'm afraid, because it's getting quite late here in the UK. Well, it's nearly 9:30, so
yeah,
quite late.
We're past our scheduled time anyway, so don't feel bad.
Oh, okay. Lovely.
But it was great talking to you. We had on my side, just real quick, up to 15 viewers at a time. Did you have any number?
Zero.
We're gonna have to work on that.
But you know what? I don't think I've been very good with the algorithms, the TikTok algorithms. I went to Self-Publishing Show Live in London a couple of weeks ago, and someone suggested that if you're not that you should go through your FYP, and if there are authors there who are not in your genre, you should unfollow them. And basically, I've unfollowed nearly all of the people I was following. I unfollowed most of them, and now I'm just following sci-fi authors, people who read sci-fi and fantasy, and I'm following quite a few Star Wars fans. And suddenly, like, my views have been chopped in half. Like, all of the videos I'm doing on TikTok every day, instead of getting like 500 or 600 views, I'm getting like 200 or 250 views, which is really crazy. But I guess that's what happened. Maybe TikTok doesn't like you to unfollow friends. Maybe they think that's really mean of me or something.
I don't know how, we never are going to figure it out, I don't think. But what I'm going to do, I'm trying to figure out a platform, but for everyone I communicate with to do videos and stuff, I want to see if we can't find another platform to coordinate and work together, so that not just me and you could go live, but you and someone else from that list can go live and start building community.
Can't you do that on TikTok? More than one people can go live, can't they, on TikTok?
Yeah, I can get up to 4 in this screen. So I don't know where the comments go when you get 4.
I see what you mean. Yeah.
But I can also do. Right now we're co-hosting. I could also not co-host, and I could host and have you as an invited guest, and that's where you see the small little boxes. That is only. That gives us a larger panel and one chat. So
good.
That might be the way I'll do it. But I want to get a round of first time with a couple of authors before I go, a couple more authors before I do groups.
You're doing a really good thing. It's a really good thing what you're doing. I've forgotten the name of that app where you can do it. There was one guy, he was into space opera, and he interviewed me a couple of years ago. I've forgotten what the app was which he was using. He was using some, and then he actually put the video up onto YouTube too, which was really cool. I'm not sure you can do that with TikTok, can you?
So I'm the host of this. I get a copy of it because I scheduled it. I can copy it. So I am going to create a channel when I get a couple more videos. I can post up several of them up there, and I'll create a YouTube channel, and it'll be just dedicated to these.
Nice.
And I'll go through and do a few more things. I tried to put a Facebook group together, but no one signed up. So I think as I do communications with each individual, we'll find somewhere else. Maybe I don't know. It could be Slack. It could be, I can't even think of the others. I'll figure out a place to see if we can't get some more community together. Because TikTok just isn't good for bringing a core group of people like that together. We need something else to coordinate. But I'll work on that.
Okay, brilliant. Okay, Mike. Well, thank you so much thank you so much. Yeah, I'll probably be going to sleep soon. And have a really great rest of your weekend as well. Okay, and
Thank you.
thanks so much for this idea. It's really, really good idea. Sorry I didn't bring any people to
That's all right.
the meeting.
We'll get you there. We'll get you there.
Okay. Take care then.
Bye.
Bye.